Hi friend, we have a new website live, transfieldguide.com. There you can find episodes with show notes, our resource page, and links to both our Amazon wishlist and our PayPal donation. If you'd like to support the show, please consider a one-time or recurring donation. Every penny helps. The information and opinions presented in this podcast are based on research done at a particular point in time. The fields of medicine, surgery, psychology, etc. are constantly evolving as new studies and movements happen. Please take into account the year of any particular episode's publication, and as new information presents itself, we will do our best to release updated episodes on the topics. Listener discretion is advised for references to medical terminology of body parts. Unless otherwise stated, no one speaking on this podcast is a medical or legal professional and cannot provide medical or legal advice. Welcome to the Transfield Guide.
So today I'm going to talk to you about tucking. There's always so many questions about how to do it and what it is and sometimes what it means. So tucking, in the opinion of some trans women, is an unfortunate necessity. For others, it's a pain and a hassle. But what is tucking anyway? Why do some trans women choose to do it while others avoid it at all costs? Let's start with the first question. What is tucking? Well, the short answer is that it's a process in which a person tucks their genitalia as close to the pelvis between their legs as possible in order to create the look of perceived feminine genitalia when wearing clothes. But of course, in practice, it's never that simple. These are some complex and very sensitive bits we're talking about here. So let's jump right into the process. There are technically two ways to go about it that are very similar, and the only real difference has to do with where you're putting the testes. The inguinal canal is the space through which the testes pass when they are lowered during fetal development. Once the testes have lowered into the space in the scrotum, the entryway back into the pelvic cavity still exists. In one method of tucking, you very, very carefully reinsert the testes back through the opening into the pelvic cavity. You then take the phallus and scrotum and pull them backward towards your tailbone, and then keep them in place with a gaff. If you're not comfortable with the whole concept or practice of trying to get those pesky things back where they came from, there are women who just pull the whole kit and caboodle back and pull on a gaff. Well, what's a gaff, you might ask? That's simply a piece of reinforced cloth that keeps all of your bits where you just went through all the trouble to put them. There are some people who use tape, but that's not really recommended for the following reasons. Tape can cause damage to already sensitive skin. Sweat and friction can cause your tape to come off prematurely, undoing all your hard work. And you can't really go to the bathroom when you're taped up. Because of these and other reasons, it's not practical for extended use. Meanwhile, you can either purchase one of many different kinds of gaffs on the internet, or you can make one yourself using a tube sock and the waistband of a pair of tights. So why do some trans feminine people dislike or outright refuse to do it? Well, to start, it's not always the most comfortable thing to do. It makes using the restroom a more complicated process because you have to retuck afterwards. Some people cannot find or even make a gaff that successfully keeps everything in place, which causes some stress, anxiety, and embarrassment. Not to mention that in following the process of placing your testes back into the pelvic cavity, you could run the risk of complications, including such things as testicular torsion if you do it incorrectly. However, even with all of that, some consider tucking a necessity for safety when out in public space. With violence and harassment so prevalent, especially against trans women of color, and the heightened scrutiny people in general have of trans feminine individuals' ability to pass, there are some who feel this practice is extremely important to do. Some things you can do to make the process a little easier is to be mindful of what clothing you wear. For example, when going to the beach or pool, you could wear a skirtini, which is just a bikini with a skirt. This provides some extra coverage just in case anything gets shifted around. In general, you'll find that looser fitting pants and skirts are more forgiving in that area, but there are those who feel that this makes them a little more self-conscious or that those clothes are just not as fun to wear. In the end, you have to weigh your comfort against your personal aesthetics.
Like this episode? Tell someone about it. Resources referenced in this episode can be found in the show notes at transfieldguide.com. Stay safe, and remember that I'm proud of you.